In the quiet tranquility of Jetavana, the Buddha sat beneath a sprawling Bodhi tree, surrounded by attentive disciples. A young disciple, Ananda, approached with furrowed brows, his inner turmoil evident in his hesitant steps towards the enlightened one. Blessed One, Ananda began, we face a profound challenge in the Sangha's unity. Many disciples now reside in distant monasteries and villages. Communication has become irregular, and collaboration falters. How shall we nurture harmony despite physical separation? The Buddha smiled gently, his gaze serene and steady, illuminating the gathering with his presence. Ananda, the Sangha is like a vast forest, the Buddha replied. Even when trees stand apart, their roots intertwine beneath the soil. Physical separation does not sever the bonds of interdependence. The essence of unity lies not in proximity but in the shared intention to uphold the Dharma. Ananda, the Buddha said, turning towards his disciple, what do you think happened to the fisherman consumed by his emotions? Ananda pondered before answering. Master, his anger must have clouded his judgment, leaving him tired and perhaps with no fish. The Buddha nodded, his eyes full of compassion. True connection transcends space, dwelling in mindfulness and compassion. When a disciple meditates in a distant cave, their inner peace ripples outward, nourishing the Sangha. But Blessed One, Ananda interjected, misunderstandings arise when we cannot speak face to face. Tasks are left incomplete, and trust erodes. How shall we address this? The Buddha placed his hands together, forming the mudra of teaching, and spoke with clarity. Mindful communication is the bridge that spans distance. Let your words be truthful, kind, and purposeful. Share your intentions openly, aligning your efforts with the Sangha's collective purpose. Through this practice, even the farthest disciple becomes near. A cool breeze rustled the leaves overhead, carrying the Buddha's words through the tranquil grove. When a potter molds clay, the Buddha said, their hands must work with harmony and precision. Likewise, the Sangha must act as one, guided by the Dharma. Let each member recognize their role in the greater whole. Like fingers of the same hand, the disciples nodded, their hearts stirred by the wisdom of their teacher. Ananda pressed further, seeking deeper insight. Blessed One, how can we cultivate this mindfulness when distractions and doubts cloud our minds? The Buddha closed his eyes briefly, then opened them, radiating profound understanding. The mind, Ananda, is like a lamp in a dark room. When fueled with oil, its light dispels the shadows. Meditation and mindfulness are the oil that sustains the lamp. By anchoring ourselves in the present, we illuminate the path for ourselves and others. Remember, the Buddha continued, that challenges are opportunities for growth. Distance tests our resolve, but it also strengthens our practice. The lotus blooms in the mud, untouched by its surroundings. So too must the Sangha thrive amid adversity. Unshaken and unified, a disciple seated at the edge of the gathering raised his hand, seeking permission to speak. The Buddha acknowledged him with a nod. Blessed One, the disciple asked, what if resentment arises when one's efforts are unseen or unacknowledged? How do we overcome such feelings? The Buddha's gaze softened, and he addressed the assembly with compassion. Resentment, like fire, consumes the vessel that holds it. Release such thoughts through the practice of equanimity and selflessness. Offer your actions as a gift to the Dharma, unattached to recognition. In doing so, you free yourself from the chains of ego. The moon began to rise, its silvery light casting a gentle glow over the gathering. Observe the trees, the Buddha began. How they bend under the weight of the wind yet remain deeply rooted in the earth. They do not resist the wind, he continued, nor do they break. They find strength in their flexibility and grounding. Blessed One, your guidance is a balm to our troubled hearts. May we strive to embody your wisdom in our lives. The Buddha nodded, his expression serene yet resolute. The path of the Dharma is illuminated by our collective efforts. Just as the night sky is lit by countless stars. Walk this path with mindfulness, compassion, and unity, and the Sangha shall thrive, no matter the distance. With these words, the gathering dispersed, each disciple carrying the Buddha's teachings within their hearts. Ananda lingered for a moment, gazing at the Bodhi tree under which the Buddha had spoken. The weight of his concerns had lifted, replaced by a renewed sense of purpose. This man has embraced the art of pause. In silence, he has found harmony with the flow of life, Buddha said. The moonlit path ahead seemed less daunting, illuminated by the teachings of the Blessed One. Another day, as the Sangha gathered beneath the ancient Bodhi tree, Ananda approached the Buddha with a pressing question. Blessed One, Ananda began. Our Sangha now exchanges messages across great distances. But misunderstandings arise. How shall we guard against these challenges? The Buddha, seated in serene contemplation, opened his eyes, his gaze calm yet penetrating. Ananda, he said, in the realm of communication, three fires often arise: anger, greed, and delusion. These must be skillfully extinguished. The Buddha shared another story, this time of a young woman who lived near a lake, plagued by deep sorrow. Every morning, the Buddha narrated, the woman would visit the lake, her tears mingling with its waters as she mourned her loss. One day, he continued, a traveling monk paused by the lake, observing the woman's grief as he silently meditated nearby. The monk approached her gently and said, the lake reflects your sorrow, but its waters remain still and clear. Greed takes root in the desire for recognition. Each seeks acknowledgement for their words, forgetting the collective purpose of the Dharma. He paused briefly, his gaze sweeping over the disciples, ensuring their understanding. Delusion clouds clarity, as the written word can easily be misunderstood. Shadows of doubt creep where truth should reside. A young disciple, hesitant but curious, raised his hand and spoke, Blessed One, how shall we quench these fires that burn within us and among us? The Buddha smiled gently, his compassion evident. Patience is the water that cools anger's flames. Respond with understanding, not haste. When delays stir frustration, he lifted his hand, symbolizing wisdom. As the disciples watched with reverence, a farmer approached him, carrying the weariness of endless toil on his shoulders, his face lined with deep worry and fatigue. Master, the farmer said, his voice trembling, how can I find peace when life is chaos and balance feels impossible? The Buddha stopped by a lotus pond, gesturing towards the serene water reflecting the vibrant colors of the surrounding blooms. The Buddha then placed his hands together in the mudra of teaching, his voice imbued with wisdom. Clarity dispels the shadows of delusion. Speak and write with truth and precision, leaving no room for misunderstanding. The gathering murmured in reflection, the Buddha's words sinking into their hearts like seeds into fertile soil. Ananda, ever perceptive, sought further insight. Blessed One, how can we cultivate these virtues amidst the distractions of distant communication? The Buddha closed his eyes momentarily, then opened them, radiating profound understanding. Ananda, consider the river that flows unceasingly. Though obstructed by rocks, it adjusts, finding its path without force. He turned to the assembly, his voice imbued with gentle authority. Likewise, let your intentions flow with mindfulness and adaptability. Obstacles in communication are opportunities to practice patience and skill. A senior disciple, seasoned in the ways of the Sangha, bowed deeply and posed a question. Blessed One, what practices shall we adopt to foster mindfulness in our daily exchanges? The Buddha raised his right hand, his expression serene yet resolute. Begin each day with the intention of compassion. Let your first thought be of goodwill toward all beings, he continued, his voice carrying the weight of timeless truth. Before writing or speaking, pause and reflect. Ask yourself if your words are truthful, kind, and beneficial. Master, the farmer asked, is mindfulness enough to cultivate balance? Or must one take further steps in life's chaos? Mindfulness is the foundation, the Buddha replied. But actions born of clarity and compassion are essential to preserving inner balance, even amidst life's chaos, the Buddha said. Choose actions that align with your values, ensuring harmony within your heart. The Buddha addressed the assembly once more, his voice resonating with clarity. Remember, the Sangha is like a vast net of pearls, he said. Each pearl reflects the others. Interconnected and interdependent, he gestured toward the heavens, his hand tracing the constellations visible through the canopy of trees. When one pearl shines brightly, it illuminates the entire net. Let your communication uplift and unite the Sangha. The woman paused and listened, realizing her struggles served a purpose. Yet she did not need to cling to her suffering. She began to carry the water mindfully, the Buddha added, transforming her burden into a practice of peace and awareness. Blessed One, your wisdom guides us as a lamp dispels darkness. We shall strive to embody your teachings. The Buddha smiled, his expression serene yet compassionate. The Dharma is a mirror in which we see our true selves. The disciples listened intently, imagining the intensity of the king's anger and the consequences that followed his impulsive decision clearly. In his fury, the king harmed an innocent man, but regret soon consumed him, leaving his leadership weakened and fractured. Buddha concluded. The Bodhi tree stood witness to their resolve, its leaves whispering in the night breeze. The forest grew still. Yet the echoes of the Buddha's teachings resounded in the hearts of his disciples. They departed, mindful of their shared purpose, ready to navigate the challenges of distant communication with wisdom and compassion. The path ahead, though long, appeared illuminated by the Buddha's timeless guidance. Another day, as the Sangha convened under the shade of the Bodhi tree, Ananda approached the Buddha with a heavy heart. Blessed One, Ananda began, we have grown accustomed to working across distances. Yet fatigue and imbalance now plague many disciples' spirits. The Buddha, seated in serene meditation, opened his eyes, his gaze steady and compassionate. Ananda, he said, fatigue arises from resistance and imbalance, like a river straining against its natural flow. The disciples exchanged quiet murmurs, the metaphor enriching their understanding of the practice and its transformative power fully. Buddha shared another tale, his voice steady, his words resonating with timeless wisdom that captured every mind. He turned to the assembly, his voice imbued with gentle authority. So must each disciple embrace their tasks and practice as one unified stream, without dividing or fragmenting their efforts. A young disciple, seated near Ananda, raised his hand, seeking permission to speak. Blessed One, he asked, how can we balance solitude and communal work without losing sight of the Dharma? The Buddha smiled gently, his compassion evident as he addressed the assembly. Balance is achieved through mindfulness and intention. View solitary practice and communal effort as two currents of the same river. He gestured toward the trees, their branches swaying in the breeze. When the wind flows through the forest, each tree stands tall, yet all are moved by the same force. Buddha's teachings wove their way into the souls of his disciples, a tapestry of wisdom uniting their spirits with understanding. Pause is the space where regret transforms into wisdom and choices illuminate the path of compassion. Buddha concluded wisely. Blessed One, how can we replenish our spirits when fatigue threatens our resolve? The Buddha closed his eyes momentarily, then opened them, his gaze serene yet resolute. Rest is a vital practice, not indulgence. Rest with mindfulness, allowing your body and mind to rejuvenate with purpose. He lifted his hand, symbolizing wisdom, as the disciples watched with reverence. Just as a lamp requires oil to shine, so must the spirit be nourished through mindful rest and reflection. A senior disciple, seasoned in the ways of the Sangha, posed a question. Blessed One, how shall we remind ourselves of our interconnectedness amid the fatigue of our separate paths? The Buddha raised his right hand, his expression compassionate and steady. Meditate on the lotus flower, which blooms untarnished in the mud. Its roots connect unseen beneath the surface. He continued, his voice imbued with timeless truth. He picked up a fallen leaf, its surface dry and curling, holding it delicately between his fingers. This leaf lived fully, he said. The moonlight cast a gentle glow over the gathering, illuminating the disciples' faces as they absorbed the Buddha's words. Ananda bowed deeply, his voice filled with gratitude. Blessed One, your teachings illuminate the path for us. We shall strive to embody balance and mindfulness in our lives. The Buddha nodded, his gaze serene yet resolute. The Dharma is a compass that guides us through life's currents. The bonds we form in life, he said, are like stars, guiding and illuminating even when unseen by the eyes. Another disciple, his hair streaked with gray, spoke up, his voice carrying the weight of contemplation. The Bodhi tree stood witness to their resolve, its leaves whispering in the night breeze. The forest grew still, yet the echoes of the Buddha's wisdom reverberated in the hearts of his disciples. They departed, mindful of their shared purpose, ready to embrace solitude and communal work as interconnected paths. The journey ahead, though challenging, seemed illuminated by the Buddha's timeless guidance. The gray-haired disciple bowed his head, his face softening as understanding began to dawn within him. The Buddha looked around the circle, his gaze meeting the eyes of each disciple, his presence grounding them. Thank you for watching. Buddha's teachings are always with you. Subscribe to our channel and we will see you in the next video.